Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Alex, and I'm back. Alright, now today's video is a very, very important video. A lot of men are not just sexually frustrated here in America. There are some men who are frustrated at the fact that when they ask for a woman's phone number, it doesn't matter if it's a black woman, a white woman, a Latino woman, in some cases Asian women. So let's just say that about 90% of women, okay? Because I don't want the feminist police to come up in here and try to prosecute me for saying all women in absolute 100%, but a vast majority, so we can say 85 to 90% of them do this. Now, some will argue they don't, but they do. And it doesn't matter if it's high class, middle class, or low class women, or a combination of the three. Vast majority of women are very guilty of this behavior. And what we're going to talk about, this video is going to be called Sex Game I Don't Know Is No. Now you might say, Alex, why on God's blue earth or blue hell would you call this video Sex Game I Don't Know Is No? Because whenever a man finds a woman physically sexually attractive, doesn't matter if it's a black woman, a white woman, or a Latino woman, in some case Asian women, or a Filipino woman, or a woman from a foreign country that's living here in the United States, a lot of times, 99.9.99% of the time, when it always comes to asking for the phone number, something always seems to always go down south. I mean, something always seems to always get flushed down the toilet, right, fellas? And this is why a lot of men to start this, I'm going midtown, because men can't stand when women play mind games. I mean, men play mind games, but women, shit, women are the masters when it comes to mind games. Some women will smile and laugh at this video and go, oh, he don't know what he talking about. He don't know nothing. He just want to come on camera and just vent for the hell of it. And I probably could be venting. But this is not a woman's channel. This is a man's channel. Because a lot of men are angry. A lot of men are frustrated. And the jackass pickup artists and dating coaches, they're never going to tell you this information. But I can tell you this information. What happens when you ask for a woman's phone number and it's a fake phone number? Or it's a real phone number, but she never picks up the phone and she never texts. So that's why I'm making the video, because a lot of men are scratching their heads like this and trying to figure out, where did I went wrong, where did I go wrong, and what did I, most importantly, what did I say wrong? And sometimes you guys don't have no one to explain. What did you say wrong? Where did you go wrong? And what did you done wrong for her to go, I was going to give him my real phone number, but I got to shit test him because there's some things are in the question. Let's start with conversation. That's the first problem a lot of men have, including myself. So can't nobody come on camera and say I'm Mr. Perfect, because if you saw my last video, I tried to get the boogers out of my freaking nose, and apparently it was on my face. So a lot of y'all probably was sitting back laughing like, I know when he uploads this video and he goes back and play it, he has to see it on his face. Yeah, I saw it on my face. Very embarrassing. Not exactly something that I want to see on the internet ever again, because the whole world has probably watched it, and the whole world is probably saying, I hope he does know that the booger is on his face and that he should, next time before he does a video upload, he should go to the restroom and clean it all out of his nose so it doesn't show up, so we don't see it again. So we all make mistakes. We're all human, so I acknowledge it in this video, because someone will come in the comment section and say, yo bro, your last video was the bomb, but next time clean all the boogers out your nose. So I know someone's been dying to go in the comment section and say it to me. I seen the video and I was embarrassed. So we all make mistakes. We're all human, and that's pretty much that. Now back to the video. Now, conversation is a very difficult thing, because in society has this thing where if you don't conversate among your co-workers or classmates in college, by default you're quote unquote antisocial. Meaning you don't like to go out to clubs, you don't like to go out to bars, you don't like to talk, you don't like to socialize, that bullshit. The shit that's overrated in my opinion. Not just opinion, actual fact. Because people have lives. People wake up and they have bills they have to pay. They have to water the grass, they have to get the grass cut, they have to pay their cable bill, their cell phone bill, water, electricity, gas. They have to wash their clothes, wash their car. And you only get 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and 365 days a year to do all of this. And when you do get some spare time where you don't have to wash clothes and you don't have to pay bills, which is physically impossible because every 30 days you have a bill with your name on it. It comes through the mail that you have to pay. So you can't get away from that harsh fact of reality, unfortunately. Be nice, it'd be fantastic, but we can't. And I'm talking to you men because I know there's some men talking about why every time I conversate with a beautiful, attractive white woman or black woman or Latino woman, when it always comes to the phone number, something always has to fall apart and blow up in my face. Well, I'm here to kind of help you out with this. Say if you take a time machine and you go back in time. I know y'all thought I was going to say Back to the Future, which is a movie reference, but go back to the past. Once upon a time, you was in high school, and yes, junior college and college level. Somewhere in there, you never mastered the ability of conversation. Don't feel bad. I have the same problem just like you guys do. There are times where I get accused of don't want to talk. And the thing is, I do talk, but people say, well, you talk, but you just don't talk enough. And you see, there's a balance between saying just enough information versus you told too much information. I'm going to say it again. There is a thin line between telling just enough information versus you told too much information. That means if you tell a woman everything you do in your life, well, what happens when you take her out to lunch and dinner? That means there's nothing to talk about, right? There's nothing to discuss. Because the minute you first met her, you told her everything. You told her 100% of everything about yourself, good and bad. Now, she doesn't feel obligated and she doesn't feel interested to talk to you no more. Because now she can basically disqualify you as a potential mate, not just for sex, but for dating in general. So you basically, as a comedian, say you shoot yourself in the foot every time you tell too much about your life. You tell the girl, yeah, I won a baseball trophy. I like video games. I like going to the gym, work. You're telling her too much. You're supposed to find a balance between telling just enough information about yourself and telling too much. Too much can scare a woman off. And before someone come in the comment section, yeah, but what if a girl tells too much? I'll get to that in a future video, but this is about why when you ask for a phone number, something always goes wrong. First problem is conversation. We all struggle with conversation with women because if we crack too many jokes, we start pulling comedy pranks, then the girl, gets upset because she may not like all these jokes. She may want you to get straight to the point. So that brings us to problem number 2. I don't like jokes and I don't like pranks. Now, there's only one word to describe this type of female. A feminist female. Only women who are stage 1 or stage 2 feminists and sometimes stage 3, they don't like it when you make these jokes, these sarcastic jokes, these comedian jokes. But it's okay for them to make jokes or crack jokes about you or anybody else. But the minute you crack the jokes, they get all angry and offended. And then they look at you like what you just said doesn't make any sense. So you have to sometimes be careful what comes out of your mouth because that could be what causes the girl not to give you a chance to ask her out to lunch and dinner. And some guys might say that's being hypocritical and disingenuous. It is hypocritical and it is disingenuous. But that's because you're playing this quote unquote mind game that the girl wants you to play. That problem number one is conversation, meaning what do you say and what do you not say. Number two is the jokes. You making these jokes, you making these pranks. Number three, trying to make the right approach. A lot of times we make the wrong approach. A lot of times we think that, oh, we work with this girl at school, or I work with her at a job, so let me go walk up to her and hand her my phone number. So problem with that is it's the way you approach. Now, don't feel bad if you've done this in high school and college, or you've done this in the real world, where you took out a paper, you wrote your phone number down, and you gave it to the girl, and the girl looked at you with this look on her face like, okay, I thought you were gonna just take the phone out and we just trade numbers that way. And you see, most of us don't do that because we know that if we do that, it's easy for the girl to say, well, I don't give out my phone number, but I get yours. And she has all the power and all the control, right? Well, in that regard, you can't do anything because it's her right to decide if she want to give you her phone number or not. So you can't be whining and crying and punching holes in the wall like some of your friends do at work. I asked for the phone number 10 times and she won't give it to me. Yeah, it's life. It happens. It happens to me too. Even though I be putting out my Mac Daddy moves out, there are times where I get girls' phone numbers. It's a real phone number. And there are times where it's just a fake phone number. Now, let's talk about what happens when you put too much faith into you giving her your phone number and she never calls and she never texts either. See, what you men, not the guys that I'm talking to in the video, but I'm talking about men in general. What most of us have a hard time understanding is that when you think that when you give a woman your phone number, you think you have all the power and all the control, right? See, what happens is the girl goes, well, I'm still not going to call you and I'm still not going to text message you. And you might say, well, oh, she just don't like me. Well, that's only part of the problem, that she doesn't find you physically, sexually attractive. A lot of times it's the way you approached her. It's what you said that made her go, well, I could, but since he said something stupid to me, now I won't give him a chance now. Now I'm going to make it very difficult for him to even get a chance. And then a lot of you do this. This is what a lot of us do that we should not do. We stand by the house phone or cell phone and we look at the clock and matter of fact, I'm going to show you what I mean when I say look at the clock. Well, technically we don't have a clock in here, but you know what I mean. We look at the clock, right? And we look at the phone for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, hoping she calls, she texts. 24 hours go by, no phone calls, no text messages. Why? So you try all week, nothing. Before you know it, it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6. Before you know it, it's a total of 4 months that you have not received no phone calls and no text messages. You know what's really actually happened? You approached her wrong. A lot of us make the wrong approach. 2, she thinks it's childish for you to take out a paper and give it to her. Like, yeah, she'll hold on to it, but then she got your phone number. She has Billy's phone number. She has Tommy's phone number. She has Man and Pookie's phone number. So she has all these phone numbers, and you like what? Number 6, number 7, number 8, trying to give her your phone number. Yeah, that's what's wrong with giving her your phone number, and you think, oh, now that I gave her my number, I got the power, I got the control. No, you don't have the power, and no, you don't have the control. See, what happens is she still has the power and the control. Because, again, she doesn't have to call you and she doesn't have to text you if she doesn't want to. Here's what you need to understand. Just because a woman give you her phone number doesn't mean she find you physically, sexually attractive. Just because you give the woman your phone number doesn't mean she has to call you or text message you. So you might say, Alex, well, if I give her my phone number and she doesn't call and text message me in 5 weeks or in 6 weeks or in 7 or 8 weeks, and I ask for her phone number and she gives it to me and she still doesn't call or text, then what am I supposed to do? A lot of times in life, the only thing that you can do, absolutely nothing. You know why? Because the more you try to become persistent, the more you irritate her. The more you irritate her, the more you turn her off. And the more you turn her off, she is no longer physically, sexually attracted to you no more. And you make this mistake one time. You make this mistake 2 times. Before you know it, you made the mistake a total of 10 times before you are aware of every time you do this, you make the same mistake. So you leave the girl alone, so you move on to girl number 2. Oh, girl number 2 would never do this to me. Girl number 2 gonna do the same thing just like girl number 1. You still ain't got away from the problem. So you go to girl number 3, girl number 4, girl number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And before you know it, it's been a total of 5 years that you've tried this and it still isn't getting you anywhere. You know why? Because you keep doing the same thing you did with the first girl. And you haven't took a look in the mirror and asked yourself, what am I saying and doing wrong? And you see, the best thing to do is not to do anything. You know why some older men tell younger men like me and you in our 20s and 30s, you ever tried the idea of just not doing nothing with a female when she's not giving you the phone? Here's what you don't get. If a woman has a job and she works 5 days a week, you got to take into account she's going to be tired. She's going to want a shower. She's going to want something to eat. She's going to talk to her girlfriends because she's going to talk to her girlfriends. And then she's going to ask her girlfriend, do you think I should give this guy a chance or not? And most of the time, the girl going to say, is he good looking or is he average? They talk about you. Whether you know or not, women talk about us at work, at school, on the road, everywhere. Even on Facebook and Twitter, they talk about us, good and bad. And guess what? It comes up in the conversation, yeah, but his conversation skills is terrible. He doesn't know how to talk to people right. And guess what? It's okay. I mean, Michael Jordan wasn't the greatest basketball player when he first got into the NBA. It took Michael Jordan quite a while to play at a high level. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant first got in the NBA, he wasn't exactly that great yet. It took Kobe a long time of practice to get really good at defeating defenders, crossing them over, shaking, baking, slam dunking on them, and dropping 40, 50, 60 points on them. It took a while. It's called practice. Now, there is something you can actually do about this problem. Despite the fact that I said it, if you give a woman your phone number, it does not mean that she is going to call or text message you back. And just because she give you her phone number to you, it doesn't mean she finds you physically, sexually attractive. She gives every man her phone number. She tells every man, I'll call and text. And then you complain 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, or 4 months. You complain that she won't call or text. And you see, a lot of times when a woman does that, she's shit testing you. That's another form of a shit test. And unfortunately, a lot of us fail the shit test, unfortunately, because we can't see why she keeps testing us. See, if a woman just straight out gave you the phone number, to her, there's no challenge. You didn't work for it. But if I make you go through some hell to get the phone number, then it's a challenge, then that means you're worthy. Now, to me and you, that really doesn't make any sense, because if I like you, just give me the phone number and see if there's any chemistry. That's how me and you think. To most women, it's a lot more complicated than that. And you see, a lot of guys say, well, I talked to a woman that's 18, 19, 20, and she still do the same thing. Well, yes. And you see, the one thing that we don't ask ourselves is, the girl don't know you very well. That's why she's doing it. Now let's get to the strategy. Here's something that's always worked. And most men need to start trying this because this actually works. You ever occur to you that the only time a woman ever wants to pay attention to you is when you talk to another woman. Let's say you like black women, right? And let's say every black woman that you talk to is just shooting you down. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how good your approach is, no matter how terrible your approach is, you get shot down by a black woman. Well, if you talk to a white woman, the black woman's gonna say, "What is it? What is it that this guy is doing to make the white girl talk to him?" Now the black girl is talking to you because the white girl is talking to you. Or if you like white girls and she shoots you down, you gotta talk to a black girl to make the white girl talk to you. It's for all races of women. This strategy is universal. And this is not no pickup artist or dating coach strategy. This is straight out pure 100% common sense, people. And I'm talking to the men. This is a man's channel. Women are welcome to watch, which I know some women will kind of thumb down the video because they think I'm being biased. I'm just trying to help the men out when they come to the phone numbers. Now, let me explain what happens when you find out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and Snapchat, because it is going to happen 2 months, 3 months, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months from now that she's going to go to a nightclub and you're going to find out that she gave some hot stud the real phone number. And you're going to be so pissed off that you're going to try to punch holes in the wall. You ain't going to feed the dog no food and water. And you're going to be screaming and hollering in the gym trying to bench press 300 pounds because you can't believe that you did the same approach as the hot stud did. And he got the real phone number and you didn't. You know why he got the phone number and you didn't? Because he figured out, well, I can't crack jokes and make fun of her because I don't know her very well. I can't really ask for a phone number because she may give it to me, but then again, she may just forget the next day. And women don't forget your phone number. I know you guys think, well, she forgot. No, she ain't forgot. Thing is, she want to feel important to you. See, when you talk to another girl in front of her, it does something to her psychologically. It makes her now want to wonder, what is it about this guy that makes this girl all of a sudden talk to him? All of a sudden you got 2 girls, 3 girls, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 girls talking to you. And you might say, Alex, I got to talk to 10 girls to get the attention of 1 girl? And the answer is yes. Because you got to think about it. If you weren't trying to talk to other women, they would never pay attention to you. So a woman is going to shit test you because she doesn't know you. And you may not like a woman saying, I'll give you my phone number, but that doesn't mean I'm going to call or text. And a girl can give all the excuses. Oh, I got 2 jobs. The girl could have 2 jobs. And that's true. Most women have 2 jobs. 5 days or 6 days a week. And when a woman gets a day off from work, she's going to sleep in. And then there are days where you're not around. And I know this is going to piss you men off. There are days that she goes to the nightclub and you see it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. And I know it makes you pissed. I know it makes you get red in the face and go, that broad, I did all of this and she go to a club. That's going to make you mad. I know it does. But there's something you can do about it. 2 things. 1, don't do nothing. And number 2, talk to other females. See, if a woman sees that you're talking to other females, she knows it's okay because to her, other women find you interesting. Now it's when you can't get 2 women, 3 women, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 women to talk to you. She's not going to talk to you. See, sometimes what it is, a woman go, well, if I'm the only woman talking to you, then you must not be that physically, sexually attractive to talk to. Because other women are not talking to you. And usually this has something to do with conversation. That's why I said in the near future, I'll make a YouTube video called How to Break the Cycle of Being Antisocial and how to, I don't want to say be a social butterfly, but a good example of learning how to be sociable, to have people stop attacking you, is to learn from Amber Rose. If there's anything that Amber Rose is famous for, is being a social butterfly. Just look at Amber Rose when she's on TV. She's talking to everyone and everyone. And that's how you break a cycle of being antisocial. Now, I'm not saying follow her path. I'm not saying copy her behavior. I'm saying look what she's doing to get all the attention without someone saying, "Oh, this woman don't know how to talk." When they meet Amber Rose, the one good thing about Amber Rose is people go, "Man, that woman sure know how to talk." Well, some women want to say, "Girl, that guy knows how to talk. He's interesting." Guess what? You guys got to learn how to break the cycle. And it ain't your fault. It's just unfortunately a lot of us make these mistakes. And it ain't until we get in our 30s and it's more in our 40s that we figure out, okay, I can't crack jokes or pull pranks. Now, here's another thing you can do. And when I was in high school, there were these girls, people, almost finished. There were these girls, and when I was in high school, a lot of these chicks wouldn't give me their phone number. They would always have it by private phone number or a block number, and you couldn't call back. But when these women get between the ages of 29, 30, 31, between the ages of 30 to 35, all of a sudden I get the real phone number. And you know why you get the real phone number? And you know why you should never brag? Because the women that you went to high school and college with were whores and sluts. And these females never found you physically, sexually attractive. The reason why a girl that you went to high school or college ever give you the real phone number, honestly, is because she gave up the homemade apple pie to the basketball players, football players, the baseball players, the soccer player, the tennis players, the track stars, the thugs, the criminals, the degenerates of this society. And when she give you the phone number, she wants you to be a punk, a sucker, somebody who works for it. But then you say you didn't make those basketball and football players work for your phone number. You just gave them the real phone number. But it's me from high school or college 15 or 20 years later, and you making me work for it. That's why a lot of times when guys get women's phone number from high school or college some 15, 20 years later, they don't even call the female. They take the woman's strategy and they turn the strategy against the woman for being stupid. And then there are some guys that will call the girl and play a game called phone tag, where I'll call you 30 minutes and then I'll let 4 hours go by. Or I'll let 3 days go by. And then the girl calls mad, talking about, "Why you didn't call me back? I was waiting at the phone all day." And the guy goes, "Ain't that funny and strange and ironic? When I was in high school and college, you did the same thing to me constantly, and you thought it was funny, but it ain't funny when you're 30, 32, 33, 34, 35. It ain't funny no more that you're getting older and you're tired of those games." Don't that sound familiar, men? That the women in high school and college gave you phone numbers, but they would block their phone number. But when they get to the ages of 30 to 35, sometimes 40 years old, they get upset when you take their own strategy and you turn it against them. And then you got the guys who turn into dogs, who will get with the girls from high school and college and pump and dump her for revenge. And then the girl starts to, "He's an animal, he's a misogynist, he's a dog," because the man ain't gonna let you forget that you did something to him 15, 20 years ago, and he gonna make you pay. Even the women at your job do the same thing. Then you got the girls who like to give you their real phone number, but they like to put it on private. And the theory is, if the girl is from the age of 18 to 29, she's never gonna give you her real phone number unless she wants to. And when she gets 30 to 35, sometimes 40, 45 years old, she'll give you the real phone number. By that time, you've already lost interest and you're no longer interested in her anymore. Now you're interested in another young, hot, attractive woman who's going to play the same mind games all over again. And it ain't until a man gets in his 40s that he comes to the conclusion that the reason why none of the stuff he was doing worked was because the women were playing games. So I'm basically telling you all the tricks and the trades in this video what women love to do. Same thing with emails. You give her your real email, but she never email you back. So if people talk about the cell phones, the text messaging, and the emails, all that still applies. It's called 90% bullshit, 10% true. I'm gonna repeat it after I end this video. 90% bullshit, 10% true. Peace.